Alrighty, hello, let's see if we can get this. Looks like it's set it up. There we go. Oh, hello, Noxley. Oh my. I'm still waiting for it to actually show that the session has started and you're already in the chat. You're so fast with that. That's crazy. I'm gonna let everyone in Discord know that it started too. But Noxley, while you're here, you could be one of the first raccoons. There is a brand new emote. I set up a new emote. It's our first custom one. You can take a quick peek at that. I'm super excited. Let's see here. Stream. Starting now. There we go. Alright. Yes. Hello, Shadow. It's good to see you too. I was just letting Discord know that the stream's starting. Yes, Noxley's just seen it. There is our brand new custom emote. That's the one that I had the artist work on to match with our other raccoon ones. It's the tired one. I thought it would be good. I'm really excited to see it. Now I'm planning for what ones we want next. I really want some more Mothman and other cryptid ones now. I feel like that's a really good You were streaming earlier today, Shadow? That's exciting. That sounds really fun. Were you streaming writing stuff, or are you like streaming a game or something? I need to start streaming more games soon. You streamed for the longest time yet, like basically 2.5 hours. That's a really long first stream. Oh my goodness. That's a long time. You're streaming a game. What game were you working on? But yeah, Noxley, like now that we have the custom raccoon one, that one's ours. That one's just ours. I want to get some more custom cryptid themed ones, because all the other ones are like bought from artists, but like other people can use them, and I want to slowly start filling it out so we have custom ones. Knitboy. Do you like the tired raccoon? The tired raccoon had to get approval from Roots before we gave the artist the A-OK that it was good. You're trying to save your stream streak since you missed yesterday's stream. You slept close for 16 hours. Oh, I hope you're feeling okay. Sometimes when I'm like really sick or I'm recovering from stuff, that's when my body's like, nope, you are in hard reset mode. That's when I sleep all day. Seriously. Even Roots betrays me. Okay. Here's your sippy. Oh my goodness. You were paying War Thunder? I haven't heard that one. You're waiting for someone to do that. Yeah, and the person who did it was Roots. No one else do it or she'll kill me. You lost your stream streak because your internet got fully reset and it was down for 2 days? Oh no! But hey, you know, at the end of the day, like I'm glad, one, that your internet's back up. That probably caused a lot of other issues than just hanging out with me for 2 days. But hey, thank you for when it's back up, for coming back and hanging out with us again. You reached a 3 stream streak. Yeah, no one feel bad. Roots ignores me all the time, see? They should have the longest stream streak and they're back down to 3, so it's okay. Okay, Captain Roots. Oh my goodness. Chris, your sick day? Yeah, you also got me sick. That was the issue. I was like, oh, okay, Roots is down, whatever. I'll do most of the embroidery. We'll get it all figured out. The main issue is you got me sick. Currently at 11 days. Oh my goodness. I feel like I think there's a little bit of imposter syndrome. I feel like really happy and I feel really honored that you guys like want to hang out with me that much, and you guys are showing up and you're listening to me ramble and yap for as long as you guys do. But a part of me still has a little bit of imposter syndrome, like, oh, why are you guys doing that? But no, I'm trying to, with all of this, you know, have fun new things for you guys to show up every now and again. Like the new emote today. I had Roots help set that all up. If I can help you decide on which tattoo. Was that something in Discord? Let's see that. Let's see what it was. I can see it on one of my monitors real quick. Sorry if my thing looks grumpy. It's because I'm looking at a different monitor. Okay. I'm getting another tattoo tomorrow. You haven't decided and you're getting it tomorrow? Oh my goodness, I could never. Need ideas, please. Send cool ones. You need help. There is a thumbs up. There is... Oh, is that somebody holding like a hand holding a soda? Like an energy drink? There's a skeleton dude. And then there's a ball. That probably looks like a reference to a game or something, that last one. In general, I always recommend, unless you're absolutely certain about it, like unless you've thought about it for a long time, try not to get fandom ones. So I think that last one with the little robot guy, I think that might be a fandom one. I'm not sure which one, what franchise it's part of. But I always say, if you get a franchise one, make sure you're sure. Sit with it for a while, just in case. Before you do anything permanent. You know, kind of like with the people who named their kids after Game of Thrones characters. And then Game of Thrones ended and they were like... and now this kids... their literal children have these Game of Thrones names for the rest of their lives until they change it if they grow older. You get one on the 2nd of every other month, so you have to decide by tomorrow. Oh wow, it's like a whole ritual. That's crazy. That's really cool. But yeah, if that last one's a fandom one, unless you're absolutely certain that you're sticking with that fandom for a while, I wouldn't do that as like a spur of the moment, like, oh, I need a tattoo for tomorrow, let me get the fandom one. Some people are fine with it, but I know sometimes people also regret it too. I'm spooky, so like me personally, I'm leaning towards the little skeleton guy, but it just depends on what you want. It just depends on what you like, what you think you'll like a year from now, 10 years from now. But if you wanted a spooky cryptid's opinion, I thought the little skeleton guy was pretty cool. Sticking strong with an Okami tattoo for you. That's right, Roots has been wanting an Okami tattoo. If they ever got tattoos, they want one from Okami. But they've wanted that for years and years, right? And that's one of the things where it's like, yeah, if you've wanted it for a while, then I feel like, okay, like, yeah, that's that's pretty legit. You're generally in the clear, unless something like crazy happens. Like I think all the people with Harry Potter who got Harry Potter tattoos years and years and years ago never planned for the fandom community to go the way it has, right? They couldn't plan that. So but that doesn't happen often. So I'm like, again, like unless something crazy happens, you're pretty in the clear. But I like a little spooky skeleton guy. The bobblehead guy's from Ultra Kill. Yeah, I don't know where that is at all. But if it's something you've thought about having for years and years, then I'd be like, oh, okay. But also, you can just ignore what I say. I mean, if you're like, nope, this is what I want, this is my hyperfixation, this is the coolest thing ever, and you go get it, like, hey, I'm not in charge of you. It's whatever you want. You're a free raccoon. Noxley, you have a sword going down your spine? Oh, that sounds super badass. That sounds cool. That sounds awesome. One of the ones I really want to get soon, is I actually want a jackalope on my ankle. I want a running jackalope. That's one of the ones that, you know, if the money ever came, I'd really want that jackalope tattoo. You'll send pictures after the tattoo develops well. Your friend does your tattoos and uses special ink, so it takes a bit. Special ink? Oh, wow. Your very first tattoo, Noxley, was the sword going down your spine? Oh, but that's hardcore. Because, like, the spine is one of those, like the Uchiaoi areas, right? I'm not making that up. And that sounds like it's not like an itty-bitty little baby one. That sounds like a big one if it goes down your spine. Oh, man, that's hardcore. I want a little jackalope to test to make sure I won't be a weenie. I won't be a baby when I get tattoos. I'm pretty good though. I'll probably be fine. Oh, okay. Wait, there's pictures in the Discord. Hold on. My model's looking grumpy because I'm looking off to the side. Wow, what's so cool? It actually looks so. When you first said, oh, it's a sword. Model, come on. When you first said it was a sword going down your back, I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna be very, very like like badass and tough looking. It honestly looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I love the leaves and the strawberries and the sparkles. It looks so nice. I'm not putting it on stream just in case you don't want this on like, like a live stream saved forever on YouTube, right? but no, it looks really cool. What? How do I get out of this? Oh, there we go. Okay, phew. Just put in Discord. Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous, Noxley. What an incredible first tattoo. I think there's the trend, not a trend. There's a what is it? There's the thing of, for a lot of people who get tattoos, their first tattoo is always it's always a little shitty because they didn't research a good tattoo artist, or they didn't really know what they were doing or anything. So a lot of times their first tattoo is always bad, and then over time they get better and better tattoos, right? But that first tattoo is normally always the one that you got when you were like young and dumb. I think that's the stereotype. But if that's your first tattoo, what an incredible first tattoo. You're hoping to eventually get an entire full arm sleeve of kind of like that. Oh, with all the squiggles and stuff. That could be really cool. Go big or go home, I guess. That's what I say. Like, I've actually for years been researching tattoo artists near me that I would want to do as my tattoo artist. Because once I find an artist that I like, if I like them, that's going to be the person who does all my tattoos. And I have a lot of tattoos I want to get done. It's so bad. I was actually planning on getting them when I broke off with my fiance back before 2020, because the big thing was he didn't like girls with tattoos, but I really, really wanted them. And so when we finally broke up, I was like, oh, okay, like now I can actually do what I want. Now I'm free. And now that I moved back home right before 2020, I was starting to save up money, and I was really looking forward to researching tattoo artists and getting my first tattoo, and I knew what I wanted and everything too. And then 2020 happened. Oh my goodness, crazy how that kind of not just offset big things, but like a lot of little things too. But one of the tattoos I really want, it's changed over the years, which is kind of crazy, but the first one I want to get now is the little jackalope. I'd really like that one. And the one I actually wanted, if I ever, one of the stories I've been working on for years has been about a necromancer dad who resurrects his daughter. I'm opening up tabs over here on the side, and I don't want to. It's a necromancer dad, and he resurrects his daughter, and one of the side characters that I love, he's just the sweet little baby, is a plague doctor. And I always said, if I ever committed and I finished that book, right, if I finished that novel, and I pursued getting it published, one of the things to celebrate that is I would actually want the plague doctor on my back. I'd want that as a back tattoo, the plague doctor. And I'm like, I still get excited thinking about it. It's one of the main motivations for why I keep working on that story in the background sometimes. I haven't shown that on stream because that's the story I like really care about. But man, yeah, if it was ever to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is the story, it's all finished, that's the tattoo I'd want. I'd want the plague doctor on my back. Isn't an ad, but if you want to try a tattoo before you get it, read like Inkbox. Yeah, I think a lot of people know that one. It's temporary tattoos that look really. Yeah, a lot of people know that one. Yep. And even just stuff in general, like oh my god, what was it? Just having it close to us. Some people instead recommend like printing out the inspo for your tattoos and just carrying it around with you, like in your pocket or something in your phone case every day, so that way you can look at it every single day for a while. And if you still like it after a month or so, or a couple months, then it's like, oh, okay, you actually like this tattoo. It wasn't just a fad. You want to get a few more next year? Dragons across your collarbones and some butterflies. I think with the really cool strawberries growing on the sword and the dragons and the butterflies, that could look really, really cool. I think that would be such an awesome vibe, having them all kind of work together like that. Noxley, I'm like so excited. That's super cool. Hello, Author Relic. It's good to see you. Oh my god, we all got distracted. We're over here talking about tattoos and stuff. But it's kind of writing related. I was talking about a tattoo I'd want if I finished this one story. Um, you know, it's been near and dear to my heart for a few years now. So I'm like, if I ever got to the point where that one was fully finished and I was proud, and I'm like, yep, this is it, it's done. There's a character in it who's a plague doctor, and I would want a tattoo of the plague doctor if I ever finished that story. And I always get really excited whenever I think about that, because I'm like, yeah, that's one of the things. I think when you have like a cool goal like that, it's always like a little bit more exciting. It's a little bit more rewarding. You should probably get to writing if you want the 1K goal for the day. Oh, you're still doing that even through December? That's really exciting. Yes. But please, Noxley, just put me on your second monitor. Just I'm your little background noise. To go ahead. I believe in you. You got this. Hello, Kyo. It's good to see you. I remember you actually were one of the early ones who tucked in a little bit early last night, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to sleep too. I think Kyo's going to sleep. I want to go to sleep. I think I still stayed up for a little while longer, but oh my goodness. I was feeling it last night. I was tired. It was one of those nights where as soon as I got in bed, I actually went to sleep instead of just staring awake at the ceiling for a couple hours. I actually fell asleep. That like never happens. But also, everyone, don't forget to take sippies to stay hydrated. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I think if I whenever I do get the custom Cryptid model, you heard tonight's stream is like 16 hours, right? When I start streaming less frequently, so when I start streaming like not every day, but just a couple times a week, then I actually, one of the days I would occasionally like to do, at some point, even if it's just like a one-time thing, I'd love to do a 12-hour stream. I know that's crazy, and I'd need to rest before and after just for my voice, right? Because I'd probably lose my voice after a 12-hour stream with how much I yap. But I would honestly, genuinely love to do a 12-hour stream. I don't think I could do a 16-hour stream. I think that's too ambitious even for me. Think of all the sippies you would get. Yeah, so one of the things, whenever, it will probably be at the year mark. If I can keep up with streaming for about a year, then I'll invest in the in the custom Cryptid model, right? I'll invest. This one is a customizable model from Suika that I just made as close as I could to how Cryptid's supposed to look. But if I ever did invest in the official Cryptid model, one of the things, so right now the model has the hand up. I actually want to have the hand up with a glass, with my sippy. And then I would love it if it could have the animation of whenever I took the sippy, it would be like a little button that then the model actually takes the sippy from the glass, so that the model would actually react to the hydrate or dihydrate. Since you guys seem to like that one so much. I think that would be a really awesome touch. I need like a spooky glass or something. But it's still like just Monster Energy drink. But yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to have the model actually have the movable hand, but she's holding a glass, because that's actually what I do for a lot of stream. I actually have like whatever glass Roots gave me beforehand, I have it in one hand, and I have the mouse in my other hand, and I'm just kind of yapping like a wine drunk aunt with a glass in one hand. Ban! Oh no, the raccoons are fighting. Who's gonna win? But Roots also taught me today the thing. It wasn't just me being silly when I was over here like, I don't know how to delete comments. I know how to ban or put people in timeout. I saw all those options the other stream, right? And I've used them before, and I'm like, okay, I know how to do that. But I couldn't find out how to delete comments in the Twitch chat. Roots showed me. It was actually something we had to have enabled. It wasn't enabled for me to do it before. So that's why I couldn't see it. If everyone thought I was just like being blind, it's like right in front of me. It wasn't enabled yet. So now it is. So hopefully the stream will go a lot more smoothly even during the streams when Roots isn't here, now that I can actually do that. Oh no, hello Callie, it's good to see you. Did you get any writing done? Have you been working on any new projects? I know you were mentioning that last time. I was giving you the writing bug. But what else was I talking about? But yeah, I'd love the model to have in the future a sippy glass, and then whenever you guys do the hydrated hydrate, the model would actually take a sippy too. I think that'd be really fun. And maybe it would make the model react less weirdly whenever I actually do take a sip. You're at 130 words today. Nice. That's a really good chunk, right? That's a whole start. That's a whole beginning right there. That's crazy. You started. I'm so excited for you. And yeah, sometimes it's just having the smaller goals every day that really adds up, rather than just trying to sit down at some point eventually in the future and get a huge chunk done, because that future may never happen, right? But just the little bits you can work on each day, that's what really adds up. That's what gets projects done. You're at 700 the day before, so you're okay. Yeah. Even if you just wrote 130 each day, hey, that's the little chunk you get done each day. That's awesome. You're getting this temporary tattoo because it's awesome. I always try to do a really high-pitched yippee whenever Roots says it. So Roots can't get as high-pitched voice as I can. So I do really high yippies. Whenever they do like a casual yippee, I do a really high-pitched one. I don't know why, it's just the little things that amuse you, right? I think, hold on, I'm still a little tired today, but I think we have another chapter of Author Relic to go through, right? Would you like us to read the other chapter today, Author Relic? I think we finished chapter 3 the other day. Would you like us to do chapter 4? But otherwise, while I wait on that, how is everyone else doing today? Callie's starting to write words. Author Relic's hanging out with us. Noxley's over here working on their 1K goal. You should make a yippee creature raccoon emote. I don't know how often you guys would use it. I'm trying, whenever I see you guys using the emotes in chat, I'm like, okay, those are the ones they like. Like, we really like using the ban one. We like the little raccoons with different weapons, it seems like. Sometimes the trash can one is used, the little raccoon in a trash can. I try to keep track of the type of emotes that you would use it all the time. Okay, we'll go into the possibility pile. I want some more cryptid ones. Right now we have the little animated Mothman one. I want to have some more little cryptids for you guys too to use. You have the hype one just locked away. Oh, did I get rid of the hype one? You also got into KDP Select. Oh, for your books? Is that the Kindle thing? The Kindle Select? That's really awesome. Is it for your book? That sounds really cool. That sounds exciting. I'm really thrilled for you. I'm always happy to hear updates from Author Relic for the books that they have published and for the ones that they're working on. It's always really, really cool seeing different people on their journey. You're currently looking at wolf accessories that you wish to wear for reasons. Oh no. I don't know. I was always for like different creatures, man. I know it's basic, and that's why I eventually like, hey, I'm so glad I eventually grew up to be my cryptid self, part of Cryptid Roots, right? Because if I hadn't ever become my cryptid self, I was super basic. I was just into cats. I wanted to be a cat girl. I was so basic. Oh no. But hey, it's a bare necessity, you know what I mean? Like it's a standard. It's a staple. So, but yeah, I was never like one of the wolf kids. I had a lot of friends that were, and they could even like howl and stuff. They like got really into it. They could do really realistic howls in high school, and I was like, whoa, I'm not that committed to the bit. But no, thankfully, I'm at least a little bit unique now, and I'm my cryptid self, my little cryptid Sona. And then Roots is their raccoon self, and hey, you know what? That's just what we are. That's just where we are in life right now. A cat mommy cryptid. You about to get a whole new type of viewers. Oh no. Nobody clip that. Nobody clip me admitting that. Oh no. Don't let the other viewers know. It's still just the beginning of the stream. We don't have a lot of viewers yet. Nobody needs to know. And clipped. Damn it. You guys are funny. But, why are you crying? Nothing embarrassing happened to you. Other than knowing me. Other than knowing your embarrassing big sister. But, I guess that is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, Author Relic, I don't know if you answered yet. Did you want us to read, another... Oh, yes, you did. Yes, by the way, the 10th mark is free on Amazon Kindle till Saturday. That's really exciting. Okay, so we're gonna read in a chapter. Okay, let me get everything set up. So my model's gonna be looking off to the side all funny while I get things all situated. Story submissions. It always looks so grumpy. It looks like she's glaring off into the corner, and I'm like, no. I'm just looking at a different screen. The 10th mark sneak peek? I think so. Does it say... Okay. Now I just had to switch OBS around. God, I know all the cool tech things now. Hello, there we go. I did it. Words are not coming to your brain right now, Kyo. Oh no. And you know, hey, I'm a really big fan of a keyboard smash. Just if you don't know what comes next, just start writing. Just do a keyboard smash, start writing. I don't know what happens next. I need these stupid characters to do this. How do I get character A out of this situation? I don't know. Plot reasons. I'm a really big fan of writing shit like that down for a rough draft. I don't know if you're on your rough draft or not, but I do shit like that all the time. It's a future cryptid problem to then figure it out. You bite cardboard and dry glue. Are you living your little wolf sona life? Is that what the wolves do? Dry glue is good? I was about to go with the bit and be like, yes, definitely, everyone eat dry glue. And then I'm like, someone's gonna clip that, and then someone's gonna do that in real life. And then blame me. And then I really am gonna get canceled and have a lawsuit, which is like the worst. So I'm stopping myself right now. I'm not encouraging that. Okay. If you guys want to do that, just know that I didn't tell you it. Like, you guys can do it. I'm not in charge of you. But I didn't tell you to do it. Anyone else eat Play-Doh as a kid? It's so salty. Play-Doh is salty. Author Relic. Get out of here. I'm gonna get canceled. Oh no. Did I eat Play-Doh? I didn't. Did I eat anything weird? I think I'm a picky eater, so maybe that's what saved me from eating a lot of random gross shit that a lot of other kids do. I'm a picky eater, so I think that's the only reason why, though. That's probably it. I remember Mama Cryptid actually making Play-Doh. You can make it, and you can do different Kool-Aid packets to dye it all the different colors. And she used to make Play-Doh and dye it the different Kool-Aid colors. And she did that to help me learn my letters because I was dyslexic, and I needed the extra help, so we would mold the alphabet with letters with the Play-Doh. So in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't taste salty, but at least I don't know if it tastes salty or not, but I'm like, it smells like Kool-Aid. The homemade Play-Doh smells like Kool-Aid. So where we left off last time was the oh my god, words are escaping me now. The news report here that Evelyn was reading, and then the police have released the detail that all the victims, all 9 victims, have a symbol carved into them. It's got more dyslexic people I can relate to. Yeah. It was really, really bad when I was younger. Some of the teachers and stuff didn't think I would ever be able to like read or write my name, you know, like I did not recognize my own name. It was really bad. And then like you come up with a lot of crazy solutions to stuff. Like at some point, you have ADHD too? I don't know. I probably have OCD. I'm not diagnosed, but I probably have OCD. It causes a lot of issues. I'm tired all the time dealing with it. Oh no. There's some things. I only got the dyslexia tested. Rude, shut the fuck up. I only got the dyslexia diagnosed when I was but a wee cryptid, when I was a little elementary school cryptid. Anything else is probable but hasn't been diagnosed. You're dyslexic. Reading, writing are super hard for me. Yep. Thankfully, it are you threatening me now, Roots? I also had a lot of speech therapy when I was a child. Yeah. I think it's the dyslexia and the some of the speech therapy stuff that actually goes hand in hand. There's some, I forget what it's called right now. I think just because I'm tired, but there is a connection there, because like a lot of dyslexics, they don't always speak properly, like certain words. I remember one of the big issues was I never said milk when I asked for like chocolate milk. I always said things like mulk. So that wasn't an accent, because I've talked before about having the northern accent. But there was stuff before we moved down to the south that I was just like, I was saying things wrong. Figured out that if you make your own font type thing, it helps a whole lot. Kind of like a secret code for yourself. Yeah, there's certain fonts, not even just your own font, but there are certain fonts that are more dyslexia friendly. But hey, if it's your own specific font that helps you, that's really, really good. You shouldn't threaten Roots. They get you everything when you're streaming. Commander Roots will get you. Commander Roots is over here poisoning me when they get me stuff. You show you the font in Discord? Sure. You're the opposite of dyslexic. Instead of having trouble with letters, they jump off the page and blind me completely, but I ended up reading a whole book in seconds. I don't know if that's the opposite. Because now once I got the help I needed to help with my dyslexia, it's not fixed. You're always dyslexic, but your brain then gets the special learning, the special little know-how tips it needs to decode language and stuff, right, and numbers. Once I had that, then I'm a very fast speed reader. I really dislike actually listening to audiobooks and stuff like that, or people on TikTok explaining stories rather than making a post about it, because I'm like, I could read this so much faster than they speak it. I never had the letters jumping off the page. I think Papa Cryptid did. Papa Cryptid's dyslexic too. And I think Papa Cryptid had them jumping off the page. To the point where like teachers, when he was little, they just tried getting him glasses to fix it. But it wasn't an eyesight thing, it was dyslexia. So that's just some of the crazy stuff that happened, you know? So I don't know if that's the opposite. It's not like, oh, like everyone with dyslexia just can't read. Like it comes in a lot of ways, and your brain adjusts to it in a lot of unique ways. So that kind of stuff still happens with dyslexia. That's still very common. Where if you can still figure out how to read, if you can overcome that, they can still move around, they can jump out, they can kind of almost give you a headache, some people even say, if they read too long. But yeah, you can still be an incredibly fast reader. You ever find yourself trying to dodge the letters when they fly at you? No, I don't have them jumping off the page. It's not how my brain processed it. But I think Papa Cryptid had it, and there are some other dyslexic who say that it's like jumps off the page. Wait, you were joking? Wait. I mean, I do see letters when you close my eyes while reading. Like, when you seek letters when you close your eyes, like you still see the words you were reading. That's just a different way of processing information. Yeah, but it's not like a weird thing. Some people still have that. I have that condition that gives me a ton of other brain problems. You just got you don't got one condition, you got condition soup. Like an after image? Oh, that might be an eyesight thing, who knows? Wait, now you have 4 diagnoses for the brain things. Yep, you got brain soup. Brain soup. You got a lot. You got alphabet soup. That's your diagnosis, alphabet soup. Oh my goodness. And let me make sure my lo-fi beats are gonna be okay. Hold on. Sorry if it's showing different images on the Discord. Not on the Discord. On the stream. Oh, it's not. We're good. You were addicted to a few drugs thanks to good old mom when you were born. Oh no. You're in liver failure and born 1 month premature. Oh, that's so scary. So your speech was very affected. Yeah. Went to a lot of speech therapy, but reading is hard, writing and spelling is hard. Hashtag overcome. Yeah, that's really awesome, author. I mean, what you went through isn't awesome, but the fact that you did overcome a lot of those initial struggles, and that you are, like, hey, look at that, like a published author through all of that is really, really cool. It's really impressive. I hope you're very proud of yourself for that. An ad covered Relic's message. Oh no. Do I need to wait a minute for ads? Are ads happening right now for different people? So, but yeah, the last chapter ended with the news article finally revealing the symbols that are carved onto 9 victims and all the 9. So we're gonna start chapter 4 now. It's really exciting. You see now? You see? Good. We finished up chapter 3. We're getting ready for chapter 4. I am still fighting off a little bit of a headache, so I'm going to take a sippy real quick. Hopefully that helps. That's why I said today might be a shorter stream, just because like the past couple hours I've been fighting off a headache. It's really rough. I don't know what's causing them. Let me pick up my microphone. Alrighty, are we all ready for story time? Oh, I should update the thingy. Let me see if I can get this. I'm gonna update the stream. Reading your stories. Here we go. Chatting and writing with Cryptid. There we go. And then I do this. Stream info updated successfully. Okay. Yeah, you get that mic. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me a bit better now. Sorry, I was updating the stream info now that we're not just talking about our new emote. Now that we're actually doing story time. We all ready? We all comfy and cozy? We got our snacks and our drinks? Okay. A thin frost silvered the grass, and the morning light felt more sterile than warm. The sun hung pale and distant, as if it had overslept and was struggling to catch up. Evelyn stood at the stove, absently stirring scrambled eggs in a pan that hissed with quiet pops. The radio whispered soft static between untuned stations. She hadn't bothered finding a clear one. Sometimes the low hiss was better than the silence. Daniel sat at a small kitchen table, legs swinging idly. Milo sprawled across the floor beside him, his head heavy on his paws. It was one of those mornings where everything looked ordinary, but felt unmistakably wrong. The kind where your body moved through the emotions while your mind drifted far away. Hello. She slid the eggs onto 2 chipped plates and sat down across from her son. Daniel dug in eagerly, his legs still swinging beneath the table. Evelyn watched him for a moment before breaking the quiet. "How'd you sleep, bud?" she asked, managing a small smile. Daniel shrugged, chewing. "Okay, I guess." She reached across and ruffled his hair. "Just okay? Did you dream about space pirates again?" A hint of a grin flickered across his face. "No. Dinosaurs." "Well, I'd take dinosaurs over pirates any day," she said, her voice lightening. He nodded seriously, and they shared a brief, warm silence as he continued eating. Evelyn felt a fragile comfort settle over the kitchen, even if it felt like it could shatter at any moment. After breakfast, she fed Milo the last of the bagged dog food from their move, then rinsed the plates and set them in the drying rack.
As she reached for a towel, something on the counter caught her eye. The flyer. Candlelight Vigil. This Sunday, Grace Fall Church. In memory of Riley Penn, the latest victim in the Silent 9 killings. She picked it up and let her eyes linger on it. Somehow it felt heavier than just a piece of paper. Daniel drifted off toward his room, humming softly to himself. By the door, Milo sat alert, eyes fixed on the narrow window as he watched the street outside. Evelyn cracked the front door and stepped onto the porch. The neighborhood was hushed, almost expectant. The air felt cleaner than it had since they had arrived, and a brittle, cloudless blue sky stretched above. She hugged her arms around herself against the sharp breeze, her gaze drifting down across the street. Lena Harrow. Lena or Lena? How did I say it last time? Fuck. Oh no. Hello, what? Thank you for the 5-stream streak. Oh my goodness. The how'd you sleep, bud, is something your dad would ask you when you were a kid. He'd always call me bud. That's really cute. Whoa, Cryptid swore? Yeah, it happens sometimes. Oh no. How did I say it? Is it Lena? Lena? Did I say Lena? Damn it. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with Lena. If I'm saying it wrong, hey, you'll let me know in chat and I'll see it at the end. Lena Harrow stood by her mailbox, sifting through a small stack of letters. She didn't look up at first, but Evelyn caught the subtle stiffening of her shoulders when she realized she wasn't alone. Lena turned and met Evelyn's gaze with the faintest nod. "Good morning," Evelyn called, her voice gentle. Lena paused. "Morning." "Looks like the fog's finally lifting," Evelyn offered. A flicker of a smile ghosted across Lena's lips. "It always does. Doesn't mean it won't come back." That's Lena. Evelyn lowered her arms. "Are you planning on going to the vigil this weekend?" Lena hesitated, then shook her head. She started to turn away but stopped, her eyes narrowing slightly. "You'd be smart not to dig too deep, Evelyn," she said quietly. "This town doesn't forget, and it doesn't forgive." Oh wait, has she dug into anything yet? Evelyn stayed silent, watching as Lena slipped inside her house. A cool breeze swept down the street, rustling dry leaves against the gutter. Evelyn lingered on the porch a moment longer. It was starting to feel like something had followed her here. Not a person, not a memory. Something older than either. It was just after 2 in the afternoon when Evelyn eased her Plymouth into the paved lot beside Grace Fall Church. The structure rose from the town's center like an ancient relic. Dark wood siding down by time. Dark wood siding worn down by time. Steep gables that clawed at the sky. And a bell tower that looked like it hadn't rung in decades. Black iron fencing enclosed the grounds like a protective cage. Daniel was at home with a book and a mug of cocoa, watched over by Rebecca, the babysitter Evelyn had called before leaving. She needed air and space to think without eyes on her. Evelyn stepped through the open gate, its rusted hinges groaning in protest. The churchyard smelled of wet stone and rotting leaves, the kind that had dried, curled, and now crumbled like brittle paper beneath her boots. A lone crow perched atop the bell tower, still as a gargoyle until it let out a sharp, echoing caw that sliced through the silence like a warning. She paused, taking in the stark beauty of the old building, then pushed onward. Softened as she crossed the threshold, stepping beneath the archway into the sanctuary. The interior was dim, shadows pooling in corners. Votive stands flickered with thin, open flames, casting trembling light across dark pews. The quiet felt heavy, thick with the weight of old prayers and lingering grief. Near the altar, a man swept, his broom tracing slow, deliberate arcs across the stone floor. He moved with a patience that suggested he had nowhere else to be. His black coat was threadbare, the collar slightly askew. White hair, neatly combed back, framed a face lined with years of quiet kindness and enduring sorrow. He looked up as she approached, his gaze calm and knowing. Okay. "Come in, dear," he said, his voice soft but resonant, filling the sanctuary with warmth. "All are welcome in the house of God. You're not interrupting anything that can't be paused." "I didn't think anyone would be here," Evelyn said softly, her voice carrying across the quiet sanctuary. "Someone always is," he replied with a small, knowing smile, "whether you see them or not." She stepped forward, cautious but drawn in. "Father?" "Pastor Grange," he said softly. His smile didn't widen, but his eyes lit with gentle recognition. "The writer! We don't often get storytellers here. Not the living kind, at least." Evelyn let out a quiet breath, unsure if he was joking. A comfortable silence settled between them, the air thick with unspoken understanding. "I saw the flyer," she said finally. "About the vigil." "Yes, for young Riley." He nodded toward the rows of empty pews. 9 candles, one for each. "And soon," some whisper, "there will be a 10th. "Do you believe that?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. He looked at her with a kind but distant gaze. "What I believe changes nothing. But this place?" He glanced around the sanctuary. "It listens. It always has. Some towns are loud with noise. This one hums quietly, like a secret waiting to be heard." He returned to his sweeping, the bristles brushing softly across the stone. "Walk, if you'd like. Sometimes the room offers answers. More often, it waits for the right questions." Evelyn drifted down the center aisle, eyes tracing the soaring wooden beams overhead and the bands of colored light spilling through stained glass in streaks of red, gold, and deep blue. A faded, deep red rug stretched the aisle's length, its Gothic patterns worn thin by countless steps. It should have felt out of place, but somehow it belonged. Like everything here, wrapped in a moment that never seemed to end. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break right there, just because I can feel I can feel my voice kind of giving out on me a little bit. But yeah, so it's pronounced Lena, not Lena. Okay, it's Lena. Okay, I'll try to remember that for next time. So one of the things here, I think I noticed it in other chapters too. I'm not sure if I said it. But this is one of those trends we don't always realize as when we're writing it until someone points it out. I think most of the time, whenever you describe anybody talking, especially Evelyn and some of the other characters, it's always, like Evelyn said softly, Evelyn said quietly, let me see here. Voice gentle. I think I just noticed it compared with the other well, my model's not moving. With a lot of them. I think especially Which one was it? I think it was mostly quietly. I think there was a lot between. This is now the beginning of the 4th chapter. I think between the 4 chapters, there was a lot of, oh, someone said this quietly. They quietly said this. It was a lot of quietlies, and I'm like, is anyone talking at a normal volume in this town? You do that a lot, yeah. And that's one of the things you don't realize it until like you look back on it, right? It's one of those things you like to use quietly. Yeah. It's one of those things though. We got to be aware of it. It's sleeping through a lot. I was really surprised when we had the last chapter. You wrote an entire scene of them going out to get ice cream in order to quickly introduce 2 new characters here. But then she's apparently has this new babysitter that we've never met and she hasn't met before. This is like a new babysitter in a new town, and she's just left the babysitter with Daniel, and I was like, oh wow, that's like really quick. I don't even know if she interviewed the babysitter or anything. Like, wow. The babysitter's handled off screen. Yeah, it was just a little jarring. I was like, whoa, wait. This woman's just escaped like her abusive ex. She's just moved to this town where everyone's creepy, and now she just left her kid with somebody. I hope that's not the serial killer. She becomes a big part of the story later on. Okay. But that might be just a thing for the next book, for the one you're working on now, handling the character introductions a little bit more smoothly. Because right here, it felt almost like, oh, like she didn't interview, she didn't meet with, she just dropped her kid off here in this strange town where everyone's giving her the heebie-jeebies after she escaped her abusive ex a few days ago. Like, whoa. I was like a little shocked, like, oh, who's Rebecca? She just left Daniel with them. So it was done on purpose. Okay. Let's see here. Where did I leave off at? Okay, it should have felt out of place, but somehow it belonged. Like everything here, wrapped in a moment that never seemed to end. She paused near the 3rd pew from the back. There, almost invisible unless the light struck just right, was a symbol scratched into the wood. It was rough, asymmetrical. A slash, a curl, something like a hook, crossed with a crooked branch. She reached out and brushed her fingers over it. The mark felt old, the grooves worn soft with time, yet it hadn't been part of the original pew. Ugly thing, isn't it? Evelyn flinched, turning sharply. A woman stood behind her, short and broad-shouldered, wearing flour-dusted jeans and a knit shawl wrapped snugly around her shoulders. Gray curls were loosely pinned at the back of her head, and her cheeks were pink from the cold. You're focused on this Excel. Well, to be fair, so I'm trying to be very mindful of how this appears to a first-time reader, and it helps because I am a first-time reader, right? I don't even pre-read these before I start reading these on stream. So from a fresh reader's perspective, reading your work, the only thing we know about Evelyn, her as like a person, is that she is fleeing this scary dude, and it sounds like she was kind of vague about it, but it sounded bad, right? It sounded really scary. And that she's taking care of her son and their dog. And that's kind of the only thing we actually know about her. Other people here are mentioning the fact she's a writer. We haven't seen her write anything yet. People are just mentioning it. I don't even know if she is a published author or not in this book, or if she just likes writing, if it's like a hobby. But we don't really get too much insight into it. That was one of my critiques earlier. Right? I'm like, man, I wish we knew in between a lot of the descriptions more about how Evelyn was feeling or thinking, because it would flesh her out a little bit more. It would make her a little bit more of a character we could connect with and understand.
if we had some stuff. So really the main thing we have from her as a new reader, you know, who doesn't have the insight of the author, which is you, right? Just as a fresh-faced reader here, is like, oh yeah, this is a really scary thing she was fleeing from. She's keeping care of her kids. And oh yeah, by the way, now here's this murder town. And for some reason she showed up in this murder town. You don't get a lot of background with her. I'm not talking about background. You get things here and there, but not big backstory. I'm not talking about backstory. I'm talking about how does she feel? What are her emotions? What is she like as a person? You know what I mean? Somebody who is very stoic reacts to a situation very differently than somebody who appears friendly but is secretly like kind of evil, but they put on that mask of friendliness, and that appears somebody different than someone who's very skittish. We don't get a lot of insight into what Evelyn is thinking. We just get a lot of insight into the environment. The environment is spooky. The day feels like it's waiting and holding its breath, but we don't actually know what Evelyn feels about that. Like, is she excited as a writer? She moved here where there's these 9 serial killings going on. Is she excited by it? Like, oh, I have to go out into the town because something's gonna happen. Is she scared? Is she scared that she maybe brought her kid to a bad area? Is she adventurous? Is she just too curious for her own good? Is she writing about this? It's just a little hard to connect with her because I have no idea. There's a lot of stuff that happens to her, and I don't actually know what Evelyn thinks about the stuff that happens to her. You know, I mean, so I'm not talking about like the background. I'm not talking about backstory. I'm saying, what do we as fresh readers know about this character that's Evelyn? And the main thing we have is other people mentioning she's a writer, even though we haven't seen it yet. So I haven't actually seen her writing or thinking about writing really much since the beginning. And that she's fleeing this really scary thing. That was the really big emotional hook. Like I said, like your character description in the beginning of her in the car and interacting with her son, and she was like really scared. She was driving in the rain and in the mist, and there's these scary things in the woods that she keeps catching a glimpse of, but she's just focused on getting away from that ex. I'm like, oh, that puts me in the character's headspace. I connected with Evelyn right there. And then everything else, I'm like, oh, I don't actually know what Evelyn's thinking. And around the 4th chapter, I only got a hint of her mind in the first opening paragraphs of chapter 1. And that doesn't mean like more background. That means more currently. How is like I mentioned, like, oh, the neighbors. You wrote the neighbors knocking on her door really well, right? I got the view like, yeah, these neighbors are creepy. This is a creepy vibe. But I actually didn't know, like, is Evelyn annoyed when someone knocks on her door again? Right after the first person knocked? Is she like scared? Is she scared because she's worried it's her ex? Is she just going on autopilot and she's kind of like not even believing this is real? I don't know. I don't know how she's reacting to stuff. So that makes it a little hard to have that emotional connection between your main character, the one we're seeing everything through, and the readers. And that, I know this is not already published, you can't change that now, but I'm just saying for your future works, making those emotional connections with the character to the reader, being aware of how the character is thinking and responding to stuff, instead of more like a what's the word? Well, instead of like a generic NPC that like anyone could put their personality on. In writing, you really typically want the character's personality to shine through. So that's what I'm mentioning here. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, Captain Roots, can I do a hydrate or titrate? Is everyone gonna ask Roots for permission for that now? Is that the new thing? Oh my goodness. I don't know if Roots is even watching this right now, but yes, you can. If you have one, just don't spam it. I'm fine with you guys using it. I just please don't spam it. Don't do like 3 or 4 back to back. Here's your sippy. And everyone else, don't forget to also take sippies. Okay. Hold on, I need to refill my bottle. You guys are gonna hear a loud noise, sorry. There we go. Here's more ASMR. There we go. Yes, maybe fill in my class. Your voice is slowly dying right now. I feel ya. Oh no. I'm putting on a brave face right now. I'm putting on a very brave blue VTuber face. Yeah. The cold got me bad. Yeah, when I say roots got me sick, I think it was something like that because my voice was shot, my head hurt, everything hurt. I felt sick. That was the day I had to skip after the market because I was like, I am too I'm too sick. And honestly, my voice is still pretty bad. I'm still coughing if I talk too long. But I try to mute the mic that way you guys can't hear it. I'm trying to be mindful of it. But yeah, don't be silly like me and stream for hours every night, despite your voice hurting. Take care of you. You cough and people gotta have you repeat yourself to be able to be heard. I'm like, oh my god, I hate that. I'm like, no. You can tell I'm sick. You can tell I'm hacking up a lung. Like, pay attention. Don't make me repeat myself. I'm just gonna cough more. Yeah, you already streamed for 2 hours and 40 minutes and your voice hurt? Oh no, yeah, like be careful of yourself. Take care of you. You have a lisp too, so it's even worse. So you have a lisp, you're coughing, you're losing your voice. Oh no, why did you stream for almost 3 hours? That's silly. You could have waited until you felt better. Hi, Callie. Yeah. Go tell Shadow to take better care of themselves. You slept immediately after stream. Good. Your body needed to rest and recover. That's what your body needed. So there's this woman. Gray curls, loosely pinned at the back of her head, and her cheeks were pink from the cold. I didn't mean to startle you, the woman said cheerfully, her voice bright against the quiet. Door creaks like a confession, but you are miles away in your thoughts. Evelyn blinked, trying to gather herself. Marnie Cobb, the woman continued, offering a friendly smile. I run the bakery over on Cross Street. You'll have to come by. The best apple crullers in the county. And all the gossip you never asked for. Evelyn Thorne, she replied, offering a cautious smile. I know, Marnie said, her eyes twinkling with a mix of mischief and knowing. The writer. Renting from Lena, right? Evelyn nodded, surprised, but not entirely. Marnie leaned closer, gaze dropping to the symbol. That's been there a long time. Nobody ever fesses up to carving it. Pastor Grange doesn't like to talk about it. I heard they meant to send it out years ago, but, well, some things stick around. What does it mean? Evelyn asked quietly. Enough said. Marnie shrugged a little too fast. This town's got a long memory, and some memories don't want to stay buried. But you didn't hear that from me. She gave a wider smile, patted Evelyn gently on the shoulder, and stepped back. I'll see you around, dear. Stop by the bakery sometime. Don't let the name fool you. I'm not sweet, but the bread is. As Marnie's footsteps faded, Evelyn wandered toward the entrance desk. A small sign read, Leave a prayer for the lost. Don't judge me and my quietly. I'm judging. I'm judging. If I judge you now, then that means you'll remember it for when you're writing your current piece, right? When you go back and edit it, now then there'll be a little cryptid in the back on your shoulder, being like, hey, get rid of those quietlies. You've already used 7 on this one page. I'll be a little cryptid on your shoulder. Slips of paper, creased and smudged by pencil and the oil of countless hands, lay pinned beneath smooth river stones at the foot of the altar. Evelyn picked one up at random. This would have been a good time to have it italicized, like up here, because it's the words. You are too smart for your own good. It was addressed to Riley Penn. A chill rippled through her as she set it back down with care. Oh, did it say it? There were 42 quietlies in this book. Baby, no. A faint creak of the open door broke the silence. A man stepped inside. Tall, narrow-shouldered, clad in a dark brown overcoat. His movements were deliberate, his face a mask of unreadable calm. His eyes flickered to Evelyn, and he offered a polite, brief nod before turning away without a word. Dr. Roth, Pastor Grange's voice called softly from the shadows at the back of the sanctuary. The man paused, glancing over. Pastor? Without another word, Dr. Calvin Ross slipped into the side hall, his footsteps fading into the dim corridors. Pastor Granger's voice drifted through the heavy quiet, almost like a thought aloud. Some people speak less because they know more. Evelyn didn't reply. She slipped back into the chill afternoon air and pulled the gate shut behind her with a hollow clang. By the time she reached her street, the sky had sunk into a heavy, dull gray, and the wind hissed through bare branches, stirring brittle leaves along the cracked sidewalks. It tugged at her coat collar and sent a shiver racing down her spine. She kept her head low, hands buried deep in her pockets. A few blocks from the church, the feeling settled over her, a weight pressing across her shoulders. The prickling certainty that someone was there, just out of sight, watching. She changed course, cut down a narrow side street, boots crunching on scattered gravel, slipped behind the bakeries, its windows dark and cold, circled, approaching Hawthorne Street from the opposite end. Just in case. By the time she stepped onto her porch, her keys felt heavy and loud in her hand, every jangle echoing in the stillness. The air smelled sharply of chimney smoke and damp wood. She paused, breath misting in the frigid air, and scanned the empty street before slipping the key into the lock. Still empty, still quiet. But this time, it felt quiet in the right way. Inside, Rebecca was helping Daniel stack his books neatly back on his shelf. He was great, she said with a bright smile. Didn't even try to sneak extra TV time. Thanks, Rebecca. Drive safe, okay? Evelyn replied, her voice soft with gratitude. I know you said 42 quietlies. I wonder how much higher it would be if you had all the softs and the gentlies. I think it would be a lot. I will. See you Sunday? Probably, Evelyn said, sharing a small smile. After the door clicked shut behind Rebecca, Evelyn let out a slow breath. Daniel was safe. Milo lay curled near the couch, tail thumping gently every so often. So 42 quietly, 147 soft, 28 gently. You feel targeted. Oh no, but hey, that's one of those things, because I know you, and you said that your wife and like you said, your mother or your mother-in-law, I forget which, we're looking through this, right? And sometimes, again, even with repeat eyes, it's hard to catch this kind of stuff, right? That's why the more eyes you have on this stuff, the more you realize those little quirks with your writing. That's what's gonna make the next writing better. So this isn't the targeting. This isn't to say, oh, it's so bad. This is like, hey, this is something you do, even subconsciously, that other people miss. For your next work, be aware of this. When you're rereading your passages, right? When you're doing your edits, check to make sure that you're having variety in the ways you're describing people talk. And that doesn't mean every single one is unique and special. That's just that gets overwhelming. I think the having just a normal she said or he said, that stuff is good. But notice that when you do a descriptor for the words, that a lot of the times you use the same descriptor. So try to vary out, try to make people have a unique voice, a unique way of speaking. You could post your stuff, trembles in fear. You don't have to tremble in fear. I hope me mentioning this stuff to Relic doesn't make you tremble in fear. It's all really good vibes here. It's just the stuff that we can point out to make the next bit a little bit stronger. That's the only point of this. And if you don't want your stuff read on livestream, if you don't want critique, you could just post it in Discord, but say in the message that you don't want it read on livestream. And then I won't read it on livestream. It will just be for you to share it with the other people in Discord, and not get any critique for it, but just to share. You can leave that note. You desire critique? Are you a brave raccoon? Your brave raccoon is gonna get critique. Cryptid hates my book. R.I.P. book. I don't hate your book. You mentioned before you're waiting to get more hardcover copies in, and I was like, oh yeah, like whenever you get more in, let me know, because I wanted to get one, but I wanted to get one from you so I could have it with the little author signature. I wanted to say to Cryptid on the inside. Like, let's go. So I'm willing to send you money. I don't hate the book. You want rewrite the whole thing. Sadly, I do not offer those services at the time. Oh no. I don't offer those services quite yet. Hold on. But hey, I'll always give you, when I go through it, I always try to give just 1 or 2 pieces of feedback. And I always give you the 2 pieces I think would be the most beneficial. Right? The ones that would serve you the best. Book is too quietly. A bad book. Burn book dead. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be so funny. It will be so funny if in the future you actually like do some of the edits I was talking about with this, like some of the edits I mentioned specifically for the 10th mark, and then you re-release it, and then you're like, it's the 10th mark Cryptid edition. And it has basically almost nothing changed, except you just got rid of some of the quiet leaves. Isn't that so funny? 1 or 2 feedback, unless it's too quietly. No, that's one of the things. So like okay, maybe I should like specify. For you specifically, since we're reading multiple chapters from you every few streams, if I'm mentioning a previous critique, to me in my head that doesn't count. It's just another example to show that one critique I had happens frequently. Like oh my god, what was it? The actions happening to the character, but me not knowing how the character feels about what's happening around them. So every time I notice stuff like that, that's not a brand new critique. I'm just pointing out another example of it. To show you like, oh yeah, see this happens a couple times. This isn't like a one-off, you just fix that one little paragraph and it's good. It's something to notice in your writing, something to be aware of. If I can say something without mumbling it 30 times. What was I saying? So for me, like each individual quietly isn't like, oh, that's, how many quietlies did you say? Like 47 or something? It's not like 47 critiques of each individual quietly, right? It's the one critique. Hey, notice you use quietly a lot. Here's some of the examples in different places. Because then you can take that and you can, in your future work, realize, oh, I always give one descriptor for particular characters, and I always like using that same descriptor over and over and over again. Sometimes accidentally, sometimes on purpose. I should try to be more aware of it. So I don't consider each example of quietly a critique. It's just it's a one critique saying, hey, look at all the times you reuse this particular phrase. If I post now, when will I be tended to? I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna take stock of how my voice feels. So we can either do it tonight if my voice is still okay, and if yours isn't too long. If you're submitting something longer, I might wait till next stream, just depending on how my voice feels. But yeah, it's not normally a long wait. It's not normally a long wait line. I try to get everyone's stuff done as soon as I can. I know sometimes people are also waiting on Cryptid because they're about to do edits, so I try to respond within a reasonable amount of time. Where did I leave off at? I just moved the pages around so much. Oh no. Dinner was simple and warm, steaming noodles topped with a little butter and herbs, filling the kitchen with a comforting aroma. Daniel ate with enthusiasm, his words tumbling out between bites as he excitedly recounted the adventures from his book, eyes bright and animated. Evelyn listened with a quiet smile, nodding along, savoring the small, ordinary moment. Like this one right here, you could actually just get rid of this quiet because there's not loud smiles. You know what I mean? So like there are some examples that aren't even about them, the way they talk. It's even like about the mannerisms, about stuff that can't be loud. Sometimes their smiles are quiet. Sometimes they're what are some other examples? There was like the environment and other stuff too. Not as in like it was a quiet environment, but like the fog was quiet, and I'm like, yeah, there's not like a loud fog. There were some other ones where I'm like, I think you could actually get rid of some of the quiets too. Across the table, Milo lay with his head resting on Daniel's foot, his tail giving an occasional slow wag. He didn't beg, only sighed contentedly now and then, happy just to be near them. I'm gonna add more just for me. Hey, whatever you want, you have free will. The soft clinks of forks and the gentle rise and fall of Daniel's voice filled the cozy kitchen, a brief pocket of peace that felt like it could last forever. Just before 8 p.m., Evelyn stood at the sink, warm water rushing over her hands, when a sudden, sharp crack split the quiet like a gunshot. Glass. She froze, breath caught in her throat. The sound had come from the front of the house. Slowly, she set the dish aside, wiping her wet hands on a towel that felt too thin, too small. Every creak of the floor beneath her feet seemed deafening as she crept into the darkened hallway. She leaned forward, heart hammering in her ears, and peered through the peephole. Nothing, only the empty porch, still and silent. She slipped to the window, careful to stay in the shadows, and peeled back the curtain just enough to see. Okay, this is outside. I was like, she's being way too calm. I thought the house was getting broken into. I'm like, you need to get your kid. Where's the dog? Under the cold glare of the street lamp, shards of glass glittered across the pavement like frost. Her car's passenger side window had been punched through, gaping black and jagged, a silent, gleaming wound in the night. She grabbed the phone and Sheriff Pike's card from the side table. Her fingers trembled as she dialed. He answered on the second ring, voice brisk. Pike. It's Evelyn Thorne. Someone smashed my car window. Where are you now? At home, Hawthorne Street. Anyone hurt? No, she said, voice low, but I think I was followed home earlier. A rustle of muffled voices came through the line. Radios clipped commands. I'm on my way, Pike said firmly. Stay inside. Keep the doors locked. She hung up and turned to find Daniel peeking around the hallway corner, his eyes wide. Mom? It's okay, she soothed, forcing a calm smile. Go back to your room. Stay with Milo. Milo's sudden barking tore through the house,
Sharp, vicious, his teeth bared and body rigid. As Daniel hurried back, Milo followed, planting himself at the bedroom doorway like a sentinel. Evelyn snatched a flashlight from the kitchen drawer, slipped outside, and locked the door behind her. But, Model, stop freaking out on me. Come on. The night pressed close, damp and suffocating. Every sound felt too loud. The crunch of gravel under her boots, the faint rustle of leaves whispering overhead. She checked the car first. Glass glittered like ice across the street, but nothing was missing. Not even the glove box was disturbed. She circled the house slowly, the flashlight's beam cutting through the darkness. Near the back porch, she stopped cold. The light caught something carved into the wooden siding. A rough symbol, familiar yet wrong, gouged deep into the grain. It looked fresh, angry. The night seemed to hold its breath around her. Etched deep into the wood, not paint. That's one of those, the funny sentences again. Not paint, not a marker. A carved symbol, sharp, angular, unmistakable. The same one she'd seen at Gracefall. Her breath caught in her throat. It hadn't been there this morning. This wasn't random graffiti. It was a message, deliberate, patient, made by someone who wanted her to find it. A signature. She stared at the mark, the flashlight's beam unwavering, the night air heavy around her. Each second stretched, the silence amplifying every small sound. Distant wind rattling bare branches, the faint hum of a power line. Finally, she forced herself to turn away and stepped back inside, locking the door with trembling hands. Milo stood waiting in the hall, hackles still raised. Milo, you didn't notice any shit happening earlier. You are too late to the party, Milo. She sank into the nearest chair, eyes flicking to the windows every few seconds, and began the wait for Sheriff Pike. Inside, Daniel was sitting on his bed. Milo curled protectively at the doorway, ears alert. Oh, so this as time passes? Because he went from standing to now he's curled protectively. Evelyn knelt by the bed, tucking the blankets snugly around Daniel. She wove a soft story about a fallen branch and an unlucky bird to explain the broken window, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. When his eyes finally closed, she eased the door partway shut and moved to the front window. I'm like, she told a whole story after investigating outside the house? Sheriff Pike is slow. Red and blue lights flickered into view from both ends of the street, washing the quiet houses in shifting color. I'm like, man, this is a small town. You don't got a lot of area. It's not like they're an hour away. You guys need to get here faster. Pike's truck rumbled into the driveway, followed by cruisers from both directions. Deputies spilled out. Senior Deputy Harlan, patrol officers Crane and Mercer, sweeping flashlights across the yard in synchronized arcs. Like how restarting your PC makes the window key work again? Thanks, Microsoft. Cryptid is so judgy tonight of Milo. Quiet and now Pike. To be fair, that's not critiques. That's when you're a reader and you're interacting with characters and you're involved in the story, right? You have reactions to stuff. So I think I wouldn't consider those parts critiques or me being judgy. That's just me as a reader being like, oh my god, Milo, you missed everything. With this serial killer making a symbol on the back porch or whatever, going around the front of the house, smashing in a window, and leaving, and only now, only now, that the person's probably gone, are you reacting, Milo? He's a good boy. He needs to be a better boy.
Judging Pike for being a slow cop, yeah. Be better. Judging it being too quiet. So the quiet was the critique one. You can't wait to face Cryptid's judgment. Dying snake. Oh no. To be fair, I'm a little tougher on Relic because Relic submitted a few times, so I don't want to say like the same 1 or 2 critiques every time. I point out examples of the previous critiques, and then I try to give 1 or 2 new ones in order to help, because I know they're actively working on their next book. So me giving them these critiques is to actively help with the story they're writing now, to be aware of. But yeah, I think out of all my raccoons whose story time I read, I think I pick on Relic a little bit more. You're picking on me? Yeah. We pick on each other. It's good. The only thing here, I'm not sure if Evelyn knows the names of these officers yet. I could be wrong, I could be forgetting it by mentioning it, but I'm not sure she knows these officers' names yet. So to her, it would just be deputies and patrol officers sweeping flashlights across the yard. I don't know if she would know it's these specific people. A soft knock came at the door. Evelyn opened it to find Sheriff Pike standing there, hat in hand, eyes dark and shocked. "You all right?" he asked, voice low but urgent. "No one was hurt," she said. "But someone was here. They knew exactly where to leave it." "Show me." She led him around to the back porch, pointing out the carved symbol. He crouched beside it, tracing the fresh gouges with gloved fingers. "I've seen this before," he said quietly, almost to himself. "Not in any official report, of course." He stood and met her eyes.
Nobody likes paying rent, but
Oh,
Bill
I
makes
have
it a little
ads.
better. Built is the loyalty program for renters that turns...
No, give me back my lo-fi for witches. I don't know whatever the fuck this is. There. I was trying to go to a different lo-fi as if I haven't listened to the same 2 lo-fis for over a month on repeat. Trying to get me to do something new, something different. Impossible. He stood and met her eyes. "Get some rest. We'll have a car on your street tonight. Deputy Harlan will take your full statement in the morning." Normally, they don't wait till the morning, right? It has to be like right away. "And the symbol?" she pressed, voice barely above a whisper. He paused, face unreadable. "Some things don't disappear just because we stop talking about them." Then he was gone, merging with the shifting flashlights and quiet voices outside. Evelyn shut the door carefully, locked it, checked the deadbolt twice, then once more. I like that. She stood by the window, watching beams of light drift through the yard like restless fireflies. The town was quiet again, but not still. I think that was a good point to use quiet. That one I would have left that quiet in. If you wanted me to have a nice quiet that I did enjoy. I liked the town was quiet again, but not still. What time you likes? I said I liked her. Locked it, checked the deadbolt twice, then once more. I liked that too. I liked very particular phrases, and I've given you positive kudos before. I say one of your strongest things as a writer is setting very clear tones and ambiance in your settings. You have a very clear vision of the mood that you want your story to be and how the settings should feel. I think that's one of your strongest things that you see in your writing. So I've given you your kudos. Sweet chapter 4, like 2 things, hated 42 quiets. Hey. This quiet's okay. Oh no. That one. I only hated 41 quiets. Get your facts straight. Oh, hydrated. Okay. So you're getting back at me. Don't you spam it. Don't. Wait. You be a good raccoon. You be a good raccoon. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay, I'll take my fucking sippies. That's one sippy. And that's two sippies. Okay, my model will keep track of me eventually. There we go. You did hear them gulps. You did. It was sippies. Everyone's bullying me now. You're on thin ice, Relic. You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice. Okay. Gonna make it 1 billion points in the future. You guys are gonna have to save up for years. So, that is the end of chapter 4. I gave critiques as we went that time. That's not normally what I do, but... Didn't hear that one? I think you're trolling me, but... Here's your sippy. So... You rate the sippies 7.9 out of 10? And you rate the gulps a 0 out of 10? I don't do gulps. I have sippies. I knew it. You got a free sippy. Oh my god, I should charge you. Hand over your raccoon coins. Yeah, I don't have gulps. I don't do gulps. I do sippies. Yeah, I give you guys sippies. If you guys want something else, go to a different stream. I give you guys sippies. What was I saying? I got distracted. But yeah, we did the critiques as we went. I point out the main thing of being aware if you reuse certain keywords to describe not just one character but multiple characters a lot, to add variety or try to cut some of them out when you notice that you rely on certain words or phrases a lot. So that was, in this case, it was quietly, but you know, it could be any word for anyone else who's turning it. Like, you might notice you rely on specific words a lot. Bet you Cryptid does the small sneezes with the achoo. Bet you. I can. I also have, like, horribly loud, gargantuan, like, my soul left my body sneezes. And I never know which one's gonna happen. But they both hurt. All my sneezes are painful. All my hiccups hurt too. I have really quiet, like little, like, hiccups. I think I do have, like, the quiet hiccups. But oh my god, they hurt. I hate getting hiccups. Hiccups hurt so bad. Just, like, honestly, just stab me instead. I hate hiccups. So, the one critique was the relying on certain words. The second one, because I tried to do 2. Did I do a second one? I'm, like, scrolling back up just to keep track of stuff. Oh, the other was just for clarity. When I first saw the Candlelight Vigil this Sunday at Gracefall Church, in memory of Riley Penn, when we saw that last chapter, let me go back to chapter 3. So this is back in chapter 3. I'm reading through stuff real quick. Hold on. Here we go. So it's a candlelight vigil at Gracefall Church. We got that flyer in chapter 3. At the end of chapter 3, she's looking at the news. And a segment starts, followed by a shot of Gracefall Church, candlelight flickering faintly in the background. And then they even talk about the candlelight vigil. So I actually thought when we're having this, that little segment, I thought she was seeing the candlelight vigil. So I thought this day was Sunday. That goes a flyer they handed out the day of. And I thought this was the candlelight vigil that they were showing a little scene from. Because you mentioned the Gracefall Church and the candlelight flickering faintly in the background. So I just got a little confused with that. But it's really, they sent out the flyer the day before, and chapter 4. Chapter 4 was the candlelight vigil. No, it's not. She just goes to the church, but it's not the the vigil yet. The vigil's still later. You found more glue. So just little things like that. Sometimes readers could be yeah, the candlelight hasn't happened yet. So little things like that, it can get a little like, wait, okay, we mentioned the church and the candlelight vigil, and then we heard on the news article about the church and we saw candlelight. So we saw those two things together again, but it wasn't the candlelight vigil. And then she goes to the church the next day, but it's still not the day of the vigil. So just making maybe a vigil happens in chapter 6. Yeah, so maybe with stuff like that where you associate two things together. So the vigil and it's candlelight at the Graceful Church. It's Graceful Church and candlelight, right? Those are the two things together. When you're talking about it out of that context, it can get a little confusing. Make sure you only mention maybe one of them without the other, because otherwise I'm like, oh, okay, they handed out the flyer and we're seeing a little peek of it in the background of the news article, the news station broadcast. But that wasn't what was happening. I realized that when I was reading chapter 4, but initially in chapter 3, I thought we were seeing a little hint of that. So just having that little clarity, just being like, hey, wait. Making things a little clearer for what things are happening. Man, I wish I could describe things better if it wasn't 11 p.m. over here and I was tired. Hopefully that advice helped. But at least, even if that second critique wasn't as helpful, at least the keeping an eye on repeat words like quietly or other phrases that you rely on, being aware of them and trying to mish them around a little bit more. Going to church in chapter 4 was to find the symbol. Introduce the father, Marnie Cobb, and Dr. Roth. Yeah. And again, I think it was a little similar to chapter 3, where it felt a little bit forced. It didn't feel supernatural. It didn't feel natural for her to go and do that, and then happen to stop by that one pew and notice this one really hard to notice symbol, and for somebody to be there and explain it to her and go away and stuff, and then she leaves and that was like the only thing she was there for. I'm like, wait, she didn't know she was going in there to look for that symbol. She had no idea that symbol was there. That was like happenstance, but it almost read as if she was only there to find that symbol. And then as soon as she found it, she's like, oh, mission accomplished, and then she left. It felt almost like video game logic of, I'm gonna explore this area. As soon as I get the key item I needed to get from that area, then I leave. And honestly, I've thought several times in here, I'm like, oh, I almost wish this was more of a, what's the word? Like a graphic novel, a comic. And I think because you also tend to write stuff that the audience for like a movie or a graphic novel would notice, right? Those camera angles, like noticing the serial killer around the corner, even though Evelyn doesn't, or seeing the waitress smile drop, even though Evelyn doesn't, knowing the names of police officers, even though your main character doesn't. I'm like, that would translate a lot better to a visual media, like a web comic or a web novel, something illustrated or something visual like a movie. I'm like, I almost wish this was visual, because some of those things, when it's just written out, can draw you out. So maybe that's even something to pay attention to in the future. If you really like writing in that style, then maybe writing novels for those stories aren't for you. Maybe writing and leaning into that style that you naturally have, and focusing on writing scripts for visual media might be something you might want to pursue in the future. Who knows? But that is the end of that critique. Thank you so much, Author Relic, for letting me bully you a little bit in all your quietlies on stream. I always appreciate it. I always love reading more of your work soon. And next stream, whenever that is, we have just one chapter left. We just have chapter 5 left. That is all that Author Relic gave us for this little preview. And if you want any more after chapter 5, then you have to go and get the book. I'm sleepy, but you don't want to admit it, so Cryptid doesn't make me sleep and we can read my story. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm in the Discord right now. Let me go to story submissions. Callie After Dark. Oh my accent's coming out. I'm saying dock instead of dark. Okay, you guys can see it on the screen. That's good. I don't have to switch over the OBS. Let's see how much this is. This is another 8 pages. I don't know if I can read the full 8 pages. Are you okay if I just read like the first 2 or 3 pages? Is that alright for you, Callie? Or do you want me just to read it all in one go on a different stream? I'll let you decide that, what you would prefer to hear it as. But otherwise, yeet. I gave you 2 different options. You're just like Roots. I'm like, do you want A or B? And then you guys are just like, yes. And I'm like, that doesn't let me know what option you guys want. Oh, you guys are silly. All raccoons are very silly, but you and Roots in particular are silly in the same way. Would you like me to read part of it now? Or do you want me to read all of it in one go? Another stream. Everyone, don't forget to take sippies. You read part of it now, so I know how horrible it is. Smiley face. Okay. You guys are silly. Student body sonata? Sonata? I never had to say that word aloud before. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Powers and traits of each house. So this looks like it's not... Oh, here's chapter 1. Do you want me to read the notes first, or will I not understand the notes? I could just start with chapter 1. Let me see what this is. Yeah, this seems maybe like notes when I'm just like quickly looking through it. So I'm just going to start with chapter 1. I think that's how we're supposed to read it. The town of Alnaron. Chapter 1. It would be more apt to say that these were a people half asleep than undead. This is a town of humans living on ancient earth. Anyone who has felt this dirt breathe and bleed with them has special privileges. It's because of the ghosts. The undead couldn't interact with the living without some unnatural effect. Bathe in any blessed ground, soak in the blood of slaves, and you'll find yourself unable to feel, but immortal. And it's not just the earth that's blessed. We do not call a sunless sky the night or dark. We say it is alive. Buildings for the rich were built to fall. This is the reason we say the stars are for the poor. What could never leave you deprives you of the urgency to enrich yourself. It's smart to invest in a star that hides away, as the next season or even day, it will come back much brighter. You'd never say the sun would wake with its eyes half shut, so still his light shines unfaded. Our town had the charm of star-pierced clouds and houses that breathed and moved with us. The structures carried each of us like snowflakes in the hand, but never allowed us to melt away. Unlike the buildings, most had the privilege of everlasting life. All except for Bellowjaw House. Bellowjaw carried canes assigned a sigil that represents their house. These canes were given out to those who sacrificed everything for freedom and power. They had a sigil of cured graphite, a substance that fell apart gray and healed itself into a transparent white. Chiseled into it was a mark that resembled the open jaws of a farshi, a corpse with columns of flesh to cage its teeth that screamed with a swipe of a finger. Ash seeps into them as if the flesh were but paper. The fangs wrote onto the flesh the words, "You are my world." Indeed, those assigned to the house of Bellowjaw have had their worlds taken from them.
those of Ember Cage made sure to keep them under their oppressive claw and guiding wing. Ember Cage is ranked first in the order, followed by Shamblefoot. Then there is Bellowjaw. It is only customary that those who take receive. The name Bellowjaw is aptly chosen. And the life those of Bellowjaw are forced into once they have endured their enslavement, roaming the town of Alnaron as a banshee or farshee. So is the fate of the woman who walked up to Osric's gate. Metal shook in her presence, and so did the bright light against it, an indication this cloaked lady was a descendant of either Isolde or Silwyn, because the metal was Mornweld, and the screams of that ancient couple resounded with every step she took. She may be a close friend, but the dark of her sigil was almost gone. That let Osric know whoever owned this cape could be elderly. She tripped over her own leg. The piano school before her, its Gothic and ornate build, towered over Corwin as she fell. The horses etched upon its surface ready to trample her should she land upon the flowers. Should she cause, with her curves and smooth skin, any crease or break in the stem of the ghost bells, the buildings would retaliate. Gargoyles watched above her. An eager mist spewed from their lips, ready to breathe fire at the woman who threatened the ash-like earth below them. Because all the world around them is like ash. Ashes of the dead, ashes of the living. There is no old, no new. In Alnaron, there is only the pure expression of who you are, and should you abide by that law, the flowers will bow to you. No flower bowed to Corwin. Instead, the flowers treated her as the soon-to-be corpse. It could be cop, it could be a new word like the other fantasy words, or it might be corpse. I'm not quite sure. And no Bellowjaw will be allowed into the ash more than once. The flowers parted from the area where she would have fallen, but Osric caught her, sparing her the ever-past rage. Don't let me know you've given up already. The day's just started, my dear, said Osric to the woman in pure black. Caramel skin, long red hair in a braid that reached her chest, a blazer and caped hood. A cane would let him know she really was gone, that she couldn't walk on her own without one. But this woman stood in Osric's garden, leaning ever closer. Typically, those who lived long enough to spite addiction lost interest in Ghost Belle straight after. But Osric realized what was wrong with her and who she was when Despina appeared at her feet with a bouquet of sleeper wells. Sleeper well is an addictive substance, Corwin. I can't let you have any more than the suggested dose. She wore the clothing Despina stole from the clothes hanger inside the piano school. Corwin knew how Despina liked seeing her in men's attire. Only a groan back to our gardener, and a blank stare that showed him she was too far gone. Is this supposed to be our? I'm not quite sure. Corwin could once smile and sing without this lethargy. She was his favorite of the three he admired so much. Isabel, Nell, and Corwin. Corwin, the only woman of the three who would truly submit to him. But now that smile is heavy. That voice held the gravel of a sleepless night spent in the streets. What page are we on right now? 6, 5. Okay, we reached at least page 5. Okay, I didn't want to do too short. So I will say, yeah, since the hour means it's like for the reader, and that kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, are we a character? What happened there? Where was that? Only a grown back to the gardener? I didn't even know there was a gardener here. There's a lot of people. So my
if you're looking for critique, one of the first critiques I have, there is there's this balance of abstract fantasy, like fancy words, and grounding words. And normally in the beginning, you want to have grounding. You want your readers to know a character, preferably a main character, but it doesn't have to be. You want to know something about where they physically are. What are we looking at? What are we as the readers physically picturing in our mind? If you start with more abstract concepts and lore and fancy smancy world building, pretty words, it sounds really pretty, and you as the writer know what you're talking about. But as a reader, it's really, really hard to ground ourselves, right? We don't actually know what we're getting into. So this, let's see, like buildings for the rich were built to fall, and stars are for the poor people, and town had the charm of clouds, houses that breathed. I'm like, is that literal? Are we in the clouds? Or are these houses moving? How fantasy is this? See, I have no idea. Then we're describing Bellowjaw. Then we're doing a lot of lore here still. There's something with the Ember Cage. Then you're describing other houses. Then you're describing the ranking. So as a reader, I'm still like, okay, wait, who's our main character? Where are we? As a reader, I know Harry Potter's canceled and all, but it's an example that's easy for most people to still follow. Harry Potter, the book series, doesn't open with the description of the Hogwarts houses. You know what I mean? That it opens with Mr. and Mrs. Dursley on Privet Drive number 4, etc., right? It starts with characters physically in a space, and then we get introduced to Harry, we get introduced to this cat. Once we know characters, and then they go on this adventure, then as they learn stuff or as they experience stuff, and then we can include all the really cool fancy smancy world building and the pretty artsy abstract things like star-pierced clouds and houses built and that breathe and all that, because the characters might be thinking that, and we can introduce that with the characters. But right now I'm not sure which character is thinking all this. We finally get to let me what is the beginning here? So that is, let me go back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. Some of the little things are a little wonky. Hello, it's good to see you, and welcome to Cryptid. We're having a little bit of critique time right now. So people here can actually submit their writing in Discord, and then I actually read it here on stream, and I offer 1 or 2 pieces of critique. So if that's ever anything you're interested in, hey, feel free to check out the Discord. That's pretty cool. Thank you. But yeah, I also know a lot of people just like lurking in the background and listening in. So if that's what you're looking for while you work on your own writing, feel free to put me on your second monitor for a bit and just hang out with us. You didn't participate in NaNoWriMo this year, but you just want to hang out. Yeah, feel free to hang out. You can offer your own critique in chat as long as everyone's nice. That's the only thing. You guys all have to be nice raccoons. And otherwise, yeah, please feel free to hang out. And if you want to work on your own writing now, there's no rule that you only have to do it during November. I have some other chatters here that are starting new projects now in December. You'll be a good trash panda. Perfect. That's all we ask here. Outside of chat, you can do whatever crazy crimes you as a raccoon want to do. But just here in chat, you just have to be nice to your fellow raccoons. What if I introduced a character first? Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yep. And that grounds you, that puts the readers into a character's point of view, into a setting, into a vibe, and then we're hearing some of the stuff from a character. But now we as the readers know what they're talking about. Might need to be Osric. You most definitely have been lurking and writing. That's exactly it. That's what I'm here for. Just for the vibes. So I'll say after, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8-ish. Some of the spacing here for the paragraphs is a little funny, but roughly 8-ish or more paragraphs. There's a woman walking up to Osric's gate. That's finally beginning. Everything else was just reflective, just thinking about this world that we as readers don't understand yet. Just hearing how the world works, the lore building. That this is more of an artsy lore dump in the beginning. When you want to start with something happening to a character. And so the beginning is actually this. There is a woman who walked up to Osric's gate. Metal shook in her presence, and so did the bright light against it. So metal shook in her presence. There's a bright light that also shook, so did the bright light. I'll put a period here. The cloaked woman was a descendant of either Isolde or Silwen. Period. We normally don't start with it because that's just a slight grammar thing, but like whatever, I'm not really focused on grammar. I'm not a copy editor. I just give you guys little developmental and line edits sometimes, but so I get rid of that because the metal was Mornweld. I think that's a name. And the screams of that ancient couple resounded with every step she took. So yeah, this is stuff happening. This is people being introduced. These are characters being introduced to us as readers, and it sounds interesting. Wait, there's this woman walking up to Osric's gate. She's this descendant. Is she dead? What's all this metal happening? What's Mornweld? Now the readers are interested, right? We have characters. Something interesting is happening, and now us as readers are like, oh, what's happening? And now if you were to describe stuff about the scene, right, which you even kind of did, right? You're talking about, oh, she's a descendant of either Isolde or Silwen, because of the Mornweld metal here, right? That's the bit of world building. You introduce the world building as it applies to what's happening, to what the characters and the readers are being exposed to. So I think really this is where you start. This is the beginning of your chapter 1. Here's your characters, here's your starting scene. Everything here felt like the world building little lore dump. It sounds pretty. It's really well written. But I don't think the readers are quite ready for the lore dump yet before they get the characters. So I would just take all that, I would save it in another document, right? Just save it into the side, because you wrote it well. So it flows well, some of the words, some of the descriptions are really cool. I think it's still important for you to have it. But now take it, the things that apply, and when you need to, then sprinkle it when the readers are ready for that info. And how far I get, I might submit this update. That would be really cool. Hello, Devin, and welcome to the chat. Want to let you know that I appreciate you trying your best. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I always say, I'm trying my best. That doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean it's right. It just means I'm trying my best still. But yes, Devin, welcome to the Cryptid Cult. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Right now we're doing a critique. People can actually submit their writing in the Discord. And when I have the time, we actually read it live here on stream. And I try to give 1 or 2 pieces of critique. And it's all good. It's never anything mean. It's just the little 1 or 2 pieces I feel would be the biggest 2 pieces that I could give you as a writer to bring your work to the next level. If you are a dark mode person stuck in light mode with Google because they don't care, the Dark Reader browser add-on does a good job making Google Dark. Yeah, I've heard some people say there's the add-on. I haven't downloaded the add-on yet because I'm a cryptid. I don't know technology. Downloading stuff on the internet like an add-on seems scary. With my own writing, let's see if I can show it. I try to at least do this. It's not going to show. Hold on, I have to switch over in the OBS. I at least try to do this with my own. I make at least the Word document black with I know there's still white on the side, but I hope at least makes it easier for some people when I have my own writing up. This is just the submission of
other people, and it's normal a lot of times for Google Docs to be in the normal white format. So I will have to get that add-on at some point, unless Groot's to do it. I know that'll probably get you guys less eye strain. It'll probably give me less eye strain too, to be honest. Let me go back. Was it this? Hold on. Why isn't it doing it? Hold on. Technical difficulties. There you go. I could challenge you to install it on the stream. I'm there if you struggle. No, it's all good. I try not to do too much tech stuff on stream, just in case anything goes wrong. We own a business for Cryptid Roots too, so I also have like emails and other contact stuff up on other screens on other monitors. So if I accidentally like click the wrong thing, or if I show anything, we are under like NDAs or like confidential info for some stuff. Hello, and welcome to Cryptid Cult. Thank you for following. I hope you have fun here. But the last thing that I ever want to do is accidentally like, oh, I clicked the wrong thing on OBS, I show the wrong screen, I do the wrong download and it pops up something else. It shows my other email and it shows like the NDA contracts I'm under for Cryptid Roots. I always get really scared about that. I always get really panicky. I'm like, no. So I normally, like, when people mention stuff in stream, and I always like, hey, if you guys see anything that can be improved, if you guys have tips, it's totally fine for you guys to mention it here in chat or on the Discord, and I do take that into account. But then I normally just set it up off stream, and then it's fixed for you guys next time. Not technically first, but at least very careful with sensitive data. That I can respect. Yeah. Papa Cryptid made us all. He actually works in like tech IT stuff, and so growing up, he made us very, very cautious of anything on the internet. We don't know how the internet works, but we do fear it. We fear and respect it. That's kind of the vibe we have here. But yeah, so yeah, always feel free to give me more hints and feedback, or either here or in Discord, whatever works for you. But I do most of those changes off stream, just in case. Just in case, worst case scenario, you know. So let's see here. So I had the one critique where it was starting with your characters in an action setting with a concrete setting rather than the abstract of the world building and the artsy stuff that's happening here. This stuff can normally come in through the lens of a character. So you normally set a concrete foundation with a character, a setting, something happening, right? Like that way the readers can picture something in their minds. And then once we have that picture, then you can add in and sprinkle a lot of the more ethereal, not more abstract things. That's what I said, abstract. Are you taking any more submissions or saving it for next time? You can submit in the Discord whenever you want, but I'll probably just finish this one and then head to bed, and it will be next stream that then I'll do another story time. So yeah, the submissions are always open. The only rules are I ask for no spicy content, no sexy times. I get a little embarrassed reading that on stream. And I typically ask for no more than 3 pages. Unless you like ask beforehand, like, hey, it's like a little longer, it's like something a bit bigger. And then we can do it. Sometimes I'll give you guys permission to post something longer, like Author Relic. I normally read a small chapter at a time because they're like 8 pages. And I just pace myself for that once I know those like bigger writing sections are coming up. That's valid. Yeah. And again, I try to keep it pretty loose. Those are just really the only 2 things so far. 3 pages, font size 4. MLA format. Citations needed. What if I tried putting Osric at the beginning and he's just watering his plants, looking around and waiting for Corwin? You can. I'm not telling you what beginning it is. It's whatever beginning you want. I do think... Oh wait, what did I do? That was crazy. It started automatically scrolling. That was weird. I honestly think this right here, just rewording it slightly, so like getting rid of the so, stuff like that, like there is a woman
walking up to Osric's gate. Like, I honestly think if you just reword and work on this is a really strong intro. It captures a reader's attention. It automatically introduces Osric. It introduces this weird scenario. There's a woman approaching the gate and what he does with it. It gives us a little bit of world building. I honestly think it's a strong opening if you want to do it. But yeah, if you don't want to do it, then hey, whatever advice I give, it's free advice. If it doesn't work for you, if you want something else, just put my advice in the trash can. It's all good. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's not my writing. If you want to have a different scene, even if you want to do a different character, it's whatever you want. I don't know your story. It's your story. So let's see. We did go over this. Going back to our gardener. Okay, here we go. This is where we can continue a little bit. So I gave the one critique of the starting, having a solid, concrete start, and then you can add more abstract as is needed. What is the? Did I do a second critique? I write from my phone majority of the time, so I can't really see pages. Even if you submit more pages, just be aware I might only read the first 3. You know what I mean? So like, don't be upset like, oh, I submitted this whole thing. Why didn't Cryptid read all of it? Cryptid's voice gave out. Cryptid needed to take a break. Cryptid brain is frying. That's all. So even if you submit more, you won't get in trouble. Just know. I might only read 3. And even Author Relic, when Author Relic submits the chapters and we go through that, he's aware that if my voice like starts hurting, I might not be able to finish that chapter, right? I might have to stop halfway through and then we continue the rest later. It just depends on how my voice is doing. So I'm just kind of peeking through here. Is this the end? Okay, yeah, I think this is a complete chapter 1. It didn't seem like it ended on a midway point. I was just taking little peeksy. But I'm gonna take a stretch. Did I do? Callie, you can let me know. Did I do 2 critiques or did I only do the 1? Did I do the 1 feedback of the beginning, a grounded beginning versus an abstract? Let me look for 1. Okay, so you're still waiting on the other one. Let's go back through this. This isn't about the plot. This is maybe just a thing to be aware of, and you don't have to like go through and like edit it all now, right? I never encourage editing as you go. I always suggest like finish your story and then do edits. So this is just something to keep in mind going forward. I feel like sometimes you might be switching present and past tense. That was like a thing. Maybe I just noticed it in a few spots. Getting ever closer. Yes, I think you're mostly in past tense, but sometimes it also felt like you were in present tense. And then sometimes you even talked about things that would be. So sometimes you also said, Akane would let him. No, Bellajaw will be allowed. So I think sometimes you switch between past tense, present tense, and like plausible future tenses, you know? The programmer in me can't help but edit and write. You know, if it's something you can fight against a little bit, I really do believe in just getting your story done, just getting the rough draft done. To just get it out of your head, right? Just write, just get it down, because you will always be editing. Even if you edit and write at the same time, by the time you finish, guess what? Now you still have edits to do. You are already be in editing hell for a while after you finish a piece. So it doesn't actually really save you any time. It actually just takes more time. You need tenses explained to me. So let's see. Let me see if I can find a good example here. So like here, this is going back to the part that was the more artsy stuff. Amber Cage is ranked first. So that is present tense. You are currently describing that to somebody like, oh, this is currently happening. It is ranked first. So that one was present tense. Our town. Sorry if I'm like scrolling a lot. That's probably like being really. Why important? At first, I also didn't know why POV was important, but then you realize later. Yeah. So even here, this is like no one in particular, and then we're kind of following along with Osric. It feels like later on. Where's the beating with Osric? Hold on. Here we go. This is our start. It's for clarity purposes. So let's say I'm talking with you and I'm telling a story to you. Like you and me are yapping, you and me are chatting. We're on the phone, we're having a gap session. I'm like, oh my god, you won't believe what happened. And you'll be like, oh my god, Cryptid, what happened? Right? We're having a gap sesh. And I'm like, it was crazy. Right? You won't believe this. Are you ready? My house is on fire. And then you'll look at me like, what? Cryptid? Your house is on fire? Your house is currently on fire? Cryptid, why are you still calling me? Shouldn't you get out of the house? And I'm like, no, it was on fire. It was on fire like 3 months ago. I'm telling you about what happened 3 months ago. And you're like, but you just said it is on fire. That's current. That's current. And you made it sound like it is currently on fire. Like you are in the present day sitting in your house yapping with me. And your house is burning around you, Cryptid. What? And I'm like, no, it happened 3 months ago. And you're like, okay. Sorry. I caught up, Cryptid. So your house was on fire. That's crazy. So tell me what happened, Cryptid. Tell me the rest of the drama. And I'm like, oh yeah, well somebody in the future is gonna come by and like pour gasoline on the front door and like light a match. And you're like, what? Somebody's threatening you that they're gonna come by later and set your house on fire again? And I'll be like, no, that happened 3 months ago. Keep up. And you'll be like, oh, but you said they would be in the future coming by your house to set your front door on with a gasoline and a match. So it gets unclear. It's like, wait, something did happen, something is going to happen, something is happening now in present day and we're yapping. It gets clarity issues when you switch. When you switch back and forth. So what would be the proper way to say it is I'd be like, oh, hey, Callie, you wouldn't believe what happened before, right? There's this crazy drama that has happened 3 months ago. My house got on fire. This is obviously a fake story. This is just for this is just for crazy purposes, okay? This did not happen to me. My house was like set on fire. It like burned down and shit. And you'd be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah. Somebody like came by and and like poured gasoline on the door and then lit a match, like in the past tense, right? You're using past tense stuff because it happened 3 months ago. It happened 3 months in the past. And then like my house burned down and it was like crazy, but thankfully I lived in the swamp, so it didn't really matter. It was actually somebody else's house. And you'd be like, oh, okay, valid. So keeping that, because sometimes the readers are here reading your story, and they're following through. They're like, okay, we're reading Callie's story, and then you or me in that scenario, right? You're like, oh, this stuff would happen, and they're like, oh, this stuff is going to happen. No, it's currently happening, and they're like, oh, okay, what? And then everything else is in the past tense. We're like, wait, is this a different timeline? Is this stuff that are we like in a flashback? What are we? Past or current or future tense here? What's happening? They're getting a little confused if you go back and forth. So like that let Osric know. That sounds current tense. But then she tripped over her own leg. That's tripped. That's past tense.
That sounds like a Reddit post thing that I heard. I'm not surprised. Reddit has crazy stories. Who's that? Kalamon. It's after dark. You might use that in a comedy scene. Hey, feel free. Yeah, verb use. But yeah, the past, present, and future tenses, just keeping it consistent with whatever moment the readers are in, makes it a little bit more clear about what's happening and when it's happening. That way the story doesn't get too confused, too confuzzled. Metal shook in her present. Yeah, like here it almost sounds like present. And then the metal was Mornweld. The screams resounded with every step she took is now past tense. She took. Maybe that's past tense. I don't. Some of the things it just sometimes switches a little bit, and I think I'm tired. It's almost midnight here, so I think I'm not catching it fully. I'm not giving you like good examples of it. But I was noticing as I was reading, I'm like, wait, I'm getting confused whether it's past or present tense. And then there were the occasional things where it sounded like a future would scenario, like, oh, this would happen. And I was like, wait, what? And no Bellajaw will be allowed into the ash more than once. That's no Bellajaw will be, that's future, that they in the future will not be allowed into the ash more than once. So if this is present or past tense, it was no Bellajaw is allowed into the ash more than once if it's like present. And if it was past tense, it's and no Bellajaw was ever allowed into the ash more than once. It's like little things like that just makes it a little bit more clear what tense are you using. Are you telling it like it's a story that has happened? Are you telling us the story is that it is actively happening now? Or some things here even speak of the future. No Bellajaw will be allowed in the future to be ash more than once. Let's see here. I'm being quiet just because I'm reading over this again. But this woman stood in Osric's garden. That's present tense. Leaning ever closer is present. Yeah. She wore the clothing. So that's present. But I think earlier on, yeah, there are a few instances where I'm like, wait, which tense is this? Gargoyles watched above her. They watched as in like past tense. Well, my model's frozen again. Sorry, that was the evil stare of Cryptid looking into your soul. Spewed from their lips. And then there is current is present tense. So I feel like sometimes you switched between, like, there would be sentences where you were past, sentence where you're present, and then like it wasn't often, but there would just be like a sentence or two occasionally that were like future tense, talking about what would happen. So that's just something to be aware of. And again, you don't have to fix it now. I don't recommend editing stuff you just wrote as you're writing, but it's something as you're writing now in the future, both this story or any other stories you work on, that's something to be aware of, to be consistent in the tenses as much as you can. I know sometimes people struggle with it, and then that's something that editors and beta readers and stuff will sometimes help you with. They have to fix it afterwards. But the less you have to fix is always helpful. Where are my lo-fi beats? Oh my god, ads.
While the Who's of Whoville laughed and made cheery,
Get out of here.
hatched a plot to make their season more dreary.
What is the Grinch meal?
Knitted Argyle stockings. That'll sure make for a shocking
Let me-
unboxing. The new Grinch
let me
meal,
skip
now at
this.
McDonald's. At
I
participating
don't want to keep
McDonald's offer
advertising a
price
Grinch meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Get out of here. Can't believe it. McDonald's ads taking over my stream. So yeah, there we go. Rethink your beginning. Make sure you have a concrete beginning instead of an abstract one. Free ads, right? And then for any writing you do in the future, as much as you can, try in the back of your head to be a bit more aware of the tenses that you're working in. New block origin. Yeah, I need to get Roots to set that up. This is all Roots' job. I'm just here to yap. Roots is doing all the tech stuff. Roots is probably asleep. That's the other thing too. They're probably asleep. But otherwise, it is almost midnight here. My throat is getting really sore from talking for so long. I will probably... I said in December I wanted to stream not every night. All of November I streamed every single day. And my voice is like kind of shot after that. So I streamed the past 2 days in December, but I do want to take it a bit more easy. I might skip tomorrow, so there might not be a stream tomorrow. There'll probably be a stream after that, so I'm just going to take tomorrow off as a break. But thank you guys. Thank you for the awesome critiques. You must sleep. Yes. You stayed up so late just to have that critique. So thank you, Callie, so much for submitting for story time, for critique. I know this is your first time submitting it. But for all my raccoons, thank you so much for being so brave. I know it's really scary submitting, right, our work on a live stream and getting critique about it. That's a really scary thing. So all my raccoons that do that, you guys are very, very brave. So thank you so much for trusting me with your work in all its stages and actually caring a little bit about what feedback I have to give you. As you're a raccoon, you shall stay up very late. Whatever you want to do. As soon as you guys are out of my chat, I have no control over you. You guys just live your best raccoon lives. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for listening to me yap, for listening to my critiques and the edits. I hope you guys liked the brand new emote that we have up. The little tired raccoon, that's our first custom one that we have here. And yes, tomorrow I think I am taking a break. Thank you so much. I think I need that break. So tomorrow is the break, and then after that I will stream again. And I'm hoping by taking breaks, even though it's less often streaming, I'm hoping to have longer streams so we can have longer story times. We can have maybe some more gaming and stuff too. Hello, T. Cryptid is broken nocturnal. Yeah, the problem is a lot of our customers aren't nocturnal. So I had to keep being awake during the day to respond to messages and stuff and drop mail off at the post office and go shopping for the business. It's so annoying. Everything needs to operate at nighttime. Then I could sleep during the day like I want to and just yap all night with you guys on Twitch during the night. That would be ideal. But otherwise, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys are wonderful, happy, healthy raccoons. Okay? Have a good night. Bye.